everyone. Today I wanted to kind of have a conversation. I guess it doesn't just pertain to people starting their transition, but all people of vulnerable demographics. I'm going to speak directly to my community because that is who and what I know about. Through my lens and through my experience and through working with other trans people as colleagues and as support provider. I want to discuss being your own safe space, right? So I've been thinking a lot about that, with the country and the world the way it has been. Trans people have been used as a scapegoat and continue to be used as a monster. We're continuously being put in a position where we are the bad guys. We are less than 2% of the population here in the United States, and our rights are being stripped day by day. And it's exhausting, I've been part of this community, part of the LGBTQ plus community in many different identifications, right? Like I've said before, when I first came out at 13 years old, I came out as bi, and then gay at 16, and trans at 18, 21. And then I went back into the gay closet because it was safer, at least it felt safer for me at that time to do so. And then stepping back into my truth in my early 30s and fully stepping into my authenticity in my late 30s and early 40s. And I'm scared. I'm scared, and it's okay. It's okay, and it's valid to be scared. But we have been here before. We grew up in a world, or at least I grew up in a world, even here in New York, where the promises that are given to everyday cis heteronormative Americans weren't given to us. Like, the idea of getting married was something far beyond me when I was a child. I knew that there were no laws to protect me as a queer identifying person. And there was no promise of that, right? And then in 1998, little by little, I started seeing little things happen, right? Our rights to our sexuality, all of a sudden, laws were being stripped that made our love illegal. And it took many, many years from there, within the last 10 to 15 years, where LGBTQ plus identifying people were able to get married and have children, right? And I have seen such a rise and a beautiful example of that within my own community, where there are so many LGBTQ plus identifying people who are married and have children, and their children are in middle school and heading to to high school and experiencing all of the magic that it is to be a complete person. And I do believe that that is going to happen for trans people. I mean, we were on our way to that, right? Here we are for the very first time. I'm seeing trans people in leadership positions, out in the open, saying, "This is me." I grew up in a time where many of the trans women that I knew were doing survival work and didn't have access to living fully, right? Like, I remember 2 women who were in college with me, and many, many more didn't have that option for whatever reasons. I can't fully say what their reasonings were, but that was a promise that wasn't given to us, right? We didn't see it, which is why I stayed in the gay closet for so long. And now so many of us are living in our truth, outspoken about who we are, and our rights are on the chopping block, right? Every single day, I turn on the television and there's something new, but it's for the children. We're protecting the children. And now we're going to actually take away all medical rights for all trans people. And actually, trans people can't be in the military. And what's next? We don't know. We don't know what that looks like. But I do believe in this country. This is our country. You know, this is the land of the free. There have been many, many people who've come before us that have fought diligently for the very little rights that we have. And we have to continue fighting for the American dream. This is what America was created for. It was created for the people. And as we, the people, we have to show up and say, this is what we would like. This is what we deserve. And as they're painting us as monsters, I know that many times this Pride Month, I've had to find myself having conversations with people where I am reminding them of my humanity, of our humanity. And it's something that it is my responsibility, not because I have to, but because it is important for people to understand who we are at this moment. Like, we're your neighbors. We're your siblings. We are your children in many cases. We are your school teachers. We are ingrained in every aspect of your lives, right? You're gonna see us at the grocery store. You're gonna see us at work. Like, here we are. We are existing fully in a healthy and magical way. And yeah, it's really, really hard to have to hear oh so often that we don't count, that we're monsters of some sort, right? And we're used as a scapegoat for fear mongering and making people fear, oh, but you're turning my kids that. I mean, listen, I was a child once too. And I grew up around a lot of cis heteronormative people, and guess what? It didn't work. I didn't catch the cis heteronormative heteronormalcy that I was taught, right? And I celebrate all of the people around me who are different than who I am, but this is who I am, right? You can't catch what I have. Either you are or you're not. So I understand that we have a responsibility some of us have a responsibility to share our humanity with other people, but not everybody has to take that on, right? Especially for the people who are just starting in their transition. Like, you shouldn't have to justify your existence or remind people of your humanity. Let us take care of that, the people who have been living in our truth for long enough to have the strength and the stamina to do so. Right now, just gauge your safety. Be your own safe space. Be your own safe place. And what does that look like for many of us? Like, I make sure to take some time to myself. Sometimes I put my AirPods in because I am always around people. It's part of like the work that I do, and I love being around people. You know, many may think that I'm an extrovert, but I'm actually an introvert with extrovert tendencies. I have to kind of like lock myself in sometimes and kind of like recharge my batteries, because sometimes peopling is hard. So definitely recharge. Take some time to yourself if you can. Get into nature. I started running. Running has been something that's been really, really Addie, I just never even thought that I could do it, actually. Can we talk about it? Like, for a very, very long time, I was like, oh, well, this is something that I cannot do. I downloaded this app called 5K, which is like, um, allows me to do intervals of like walking and running, and every single day that I go out for a run, it extends the amount of running that I do, and that has been a saving grace for me. That has allowed me, one, to be in nature, which I find a lot of healing, being just in nature. 5 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody out, right? And the birds are chirping and the sun is coming up, but it's still cool enough that I'm not like drenched in sweat by the time that I'm done. And for like 30 minutes, I got to just like release so much. That has been a way that I have found my own safe space within me. I have conversations with my parents, with my mom, my dad. My dad is just so magical. I think that anytime that I share anything with him, his perspective on things is always something that grounds me. It reminds me that I have to remember that I have a higher power, right? His faith in God is so, so deep that even when mine is not as strong and I speak to my dad, I'm reminded that there's something greater than me. And that helps a lot. And even with my mom, like, the conversations are differently, of course, but I love just catching up with her, and she'll like catch me up on what's going on with the family, or what's she doing and in her life. She's very involved in her church, so she'll catch me up on all of the retreats and all of the things that they are involved in, and I appreciate that. Even though, once again, I don't go to like the church events and retreats like they do, my spirituality, I practice in a very different way than my parents do, but I respect their reverence for their faith. And again, it just reminds me that there's something bigger than me, and I find my safe space in that. And that may not be for everybody, but spirituality is definitely something that I promote. However you see a higher power or something bigger than yourself, I have found a lot of solace in my higher power. And then doing just like simple things like taking a sea salt bath or like an Epsom salt bath, which removes toxins. And I was reading somewhere the other day that it literally releases all the negative energy, which I don't even know if that's true, but I'm going to tell you that ever since reading that, I'm like, I'm removing all of the all the negative energy that I am surrounded by at all times. Listen, it's just a matter of self-care, whatever that looks like for you, whatever feels good for you, you know, but something that's not going to be self-sacrificing or something that's going to make you regret your existence. Try to stay within something that is positive and healthy. And if you need to disconnect from people, disconnect from people. It's okay. This is a really, really tough time to do that. But just make sure to touch base every once in a while so everyone knows that you're okay. Well, at least the ones that need to know, right? Your family, your close friends. Yeah. I don't really know if there's anything else I can share beyond that, but I want to again validate that these are tough times. They're not easy times, and finding safety within yourself is very important. And I say within yourself because I have tried to, in the past, find safety outside of me, in other people, and I've regretted that greatly. I have an understanding that I can take care of myself, right, in ways that other people are not going to be able to. And I'm not saying that I don't need people. That's not the case, right? I need community. I need family. I need the support of others. But when it comes to my safety, which I've spoken about in a recent video, my spiritual, my emotional, my physical safety, I heavily have to rely on myself. I have to be the foundation of my safety, my peace, in an insecure and vulnerable time. I don't know what's coming next. I wish that I can say everything is going to be okay, but I don't know if that's true. But I hope that everything will, in the deepest parts of my heart. Well, I hope that helps. And if you want to put in how you do some self-care, or if you want to add in the comments how you are your safe space, or what kind of rituals you do to become your safe space, please add those to the comments. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. For the love of us.